Hey guys, what's going on? This is your old pal, CHH, and today we're looking at the newest MVD 4K Classic Rewind release. Or what are they called? They're called the Rewind Collection. The MVD Rewind Collection. I should know that by now. Alright guys, so it's really cool. Today we're talking about Ghoulies 2. Now I've been waiting for this one for some time. A little backstory. So, if you look at the MVD Rewind Collection, they started with Swamp Thing, which really made me a bigger fan of the movie, being able to see it in this capacity. I mean, it really was a hell of a way to start this line. Then, my favorite 4K release of last year in terms of transfers was far and away Ghoulies 1. Ghoulies 1 blew me away. I couldn't believe how good I thought this looked. So, kudos to that. That was sensational work from you guys. We were like, well, Ghoulies 2 has to be coming, right? Because you guys, MVD, you guys got the rights to those movies after Scream Factory, you know, had them. Now you guys have them. And I applauded MVD because they put the Scream Factory special features on this release as well as their own stuff. So we got the announcement last year, or early this year, I want to say it was last year, of Ghoulies 2, but the Blu-ray. Now I give MVD credit because they did come out and say, we are going to do the 4K, but we're having issues. So they put the Blu-ray out for that time. I did a review on this if you want to check that review out, but obviously with this review, we're going to be covering some differences with these releases because there is a big difference in here. And then we got early this year Cutting Class, I believe, and this was good. So the first thing I want to say for all the collectors out there, because I know this is important, they did still keep these numbered, and as you can see, we go from 1 to 4, and guess what? Ghoulies 2 fits right in there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they got the numbers right. Just a few words, because you guys know I'm a big Charles Band fan. I will say this, okay? A lot of you have probably already seen Ghoulies 2. If you're watching this video, odds are you've seen the movie. When I look at the Empire catalog, I look at the movies that have come out, I look at the stuff that's been done with Charles Band. If I was going to make a banner that was going to show what Empire Pictures was, for me, I know for some people they may have From Beyond or Reanimator dead front, but for me, if I'm making a banner to represent Empire, you're going to see the title Empire, and right above it are going to be the Ghoulies. Because when you look at the Ghoulies, Ghoulies was actually a very successful movie for Charles Band. Theatrically, it was a smash hit. A lot of those movies did terrible in the theaters, like Reanimator tanked. It wasn't until it came out from on VHS that it exploded. But Ghoulies was successful. In terms of the box office for Ghoulies 2, I can't actually remember that, but I know that the first Ghoulies was a smash hit. And I just think the movies have stood the test of time as much as anything that Charles Band has done. I love the Ghoulies. Ghoulies 2 is really the fan favorite. Ghoulies 1 is a little bit more of like a witch, wizardy kind of movie. Ghoulies 2, I think, is what people have in mind when they see or hear the term Ghoulies or look at the imagery of Ghoulies. A very simple premise. You've got this carnival. You've got a bunch of carnies. There's a little person that looks just like John Oates, which is awesome. He's great in the movie, by the way. You know, this carnival is losing money, so this guy that comes in that runs the corporation that has the carnival says, you guys either make money or you get the hell out of here. So they're doing everything they can, but these damn Ghoulies come in. So let's talk about, you know, the restoration of this 4K. For the record, I watched the unrated cut of this movie on the 4K. The unrated cut, which is much gorier and bloodier than the PG-13 version. Ghoulies 2 looked incredible. I mean, when I watched the first Ghoulies last year, I was kind of taken aback. So I was kind of expecting somewhat of the same this time around, okay? But because I thought Ghoulies 1 was so good, I thought, we're not gonna get there again, because Swamp Thing I thought was a perfect restoration. Ghoulies was, but then Cutting Class I thought was just like a 9 or an 8 out of 10. And I don't really fault MVD. I think that's just not a movie visually that you think of when you think of 4K movies. Ghoulies 2 was as good as Ghoulies 1. This for me is in the running as one of my favorite 4K restorations this year, guys. Just absolutely loved it. It looked incredible. There was a pristineness to everything. But still very filmic, right? And the Ghoulies, when you see them on screen, especially when they're out in the open where there's the big fish ghoulie, you can see how slimy they were. And you know, the puppetry work in it, obviously you can tell it's puppetry work, but the design of the Ghoulies, I think when you watch a movie like this in 4K, you get to see that the design and the makeup done for the Ghoulies was actually a lot better than you might have initially thought, because you don't see a whole lot of foam lining or creasing on the Ghoulies. They're built very well. They're made very well. So it makes the experience that much better. It just does. It really makes it that much better. So I gotta say, I may not be my favorite 4K this year. I'd have to really stop and think about what I've watched this year. But it's in the running as one of my favorite 4K restorations this year. So Ghoulies was my favorite last year, and Ghoulies 2 is in the running. And what I love about MVD, I'll tell you guys this, just full disclosure, I got this sent to review. I have a working relationship with MVD, and I'll say this about MVD. Not once have they ever asked me to curtail my thoughts or try to fluff a release. Never. Not once. Never. And those guys probably never will. I really love working with MVD. So I gain nothing from either promoting it positively or negatively from them. My job is to, help bring awareness to the title and answer questions before you decide to buy it, which is what I hope to do with these videos. But my point is, they've never asked me to do anything like that. So when I tell you that I really love this 4K, the restoration, I'm looking at you guys dead in the camera. I effing loved it. Like I said, I was so happy with this last year. So let's talk about the release. Let's get into it, guys. The first things first, let's look at the special features now. All right, guys, so the special features are going to mostly be on the Blu-ray disc for this release. But on the 4K release, you'll see you can also get the introduction by screenwriter Dennis Pauly. I want to say this right here, right now. So I popped in the Blu-ray release just to double check something. It looks like the Blu-ray discs for this and this are identical. And I was watching bits and pieces from both this Blu-ray and the one that comes with the 4K release. The 4K release says that it's a 2K scan from the inner positive for the Blu-ray disc, where this one just said it says full 1080p. But I think it is the same transfer. I think they look very, very, very similar. If not identical, like they are the same. The discs certainly are the same. The thing to note with Ghoulies 2, the unrated cut, guys, the unrated cut is only on the 4K disc. That could be a positive or negative to some of you guys. Obviously, if that's something you're very interested in, and you're not a 4K person, that might be an issue for you. Know that the old Blu-ray release, regular cut of the film, the PG-13 cut, I guess you would call it, of the motion picture, but on the 4K release, you're going to get both. The unrated and the PG-13 cut are on the 4K disc, and that is what I watched for this review, was the 4K disc itself, guys. The only other thing to add is the actual physical release itself. What they did different this time, guys, I think they might have saw the comments on Ghoulies 1. Ghoulies 1 looked like it was a sticker that had like a bunch of air pockets on it, and I think, because you could tell they do the same thing on the back slightly on the features, so I think they saw that maybe people weren't in love with that idea. So on this one, what they did is it has the sticker look with just a couple old like dirt speckles on it, like just from being on something for a long period of time, and I think it works. They do give you the CED cases back in the day came in white and blue, and they went with the blue color this time, which is nice, just a little something different. When it comes to the artwork on the case, you can either have this identical art on the case itself, or you can swap it to this, which mimics the Blu-ray release artwork as well on there. So, and just to show you, it is identical. I thought maybe one of them was a tad darker or so, but no, they're the same thing. So you have that. With your 4K, you get your poster, which is great. It's, like I said, like they're doing the CED thing with this, which I think is really fun. And here it is. It's a blue CED, which is why the case has that blue pull tab at the bottom. So very, very cool. My Blu-ray disc is in the player because I wanted to verify that the R-rated or unrated cut was not on the Blu-ray disc for this release, which it's not. And then your 4K disc mimics those old, what are those old 20th Century Fox looking VHS releases. So very, very cool, guys. But I'm very happy with this release. I gotta say, the 4K restoration for Ghoulies is absolutely out of this world fantastic. I love it so much, and I hope you guys check this out. I give the picture quality on this a solid, perfect 10. Get ready, guys. The MVD line is great. They space these releases out nicely, so you get to be able to process the release, enjoy the release, and by the time they do announce a new one, you're excited. You're ready for a new one because some time has passed. You got your money's worth out of this, and I think that's a good way to go because a lot of companies, they shove stuff out every month, and that's cool too because you don't have to buy everything that comes out. But with MVD, you're really starting to look forward to what their next 4K is going to be. So, even though there was a delay, it's finally here, or it's coming. Ghoulies 2 on 4K UHD with the unrated cut, guys. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer, please drop it down below. I'll do my best to answer it. This is your old pal CHH, guys. God bless and take care. I love the Ghoulies. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.